everyone, welcome to India Development Debate. I'm Nayantara Rai. More than half of the Lok Sabha election is over, with the end of the third phase today, which is going to decide the fate of 116 MPs across 15 states and union territories. Voting on 302 seats out of the 543 seats has been concluded. The phase also marked the end of polling in all of South India, Gujarat, Northeast and the union territories. Remember, that's of course barring the national capital. In all the 116 seats that went to poll today, the NDA had won 66 seats in the last election in 2014 versus the UPA's tally of 27. Clearly, the stakes are much higher for the NDA. The questions are, can the BJP sweep Gujarat the way it did in 2014? Will Rahul Gandhi's Wayanad bet pay off? Will the Mahagatbandhan in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Karnataka possibly stop the BJP juggernaut if the Mahagatbandhan even comes out to be a reality? We'll discuss all of this and more on this edition of the India Development Debate tonight.
लोकतंत्र का शस्त्र वोटर आईडी होता है। मुझे विश्वास है कि वोटर आईडी की ताकत आईईडी से भी अनेक गुना ज्यादा है।
It is a privilege to be a part of this great democratic experiment.
देश की प्रगति में, देश की सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करने में और देश के अर्थतंत्र को गति देने के लिए आप मतदान कर लोकतंत्र को सफल बनाइए।
I am hopeful that my party and Grand Alliance will come to power.
Right, so let's discuss this and more with Hitesh Jain, the spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Radhika Khera, spokesperson for the Congress Party, Sagrika Ghosh, the consulting editor at Times of India, Dhanya Rajendran, the editor-in-chief at the News Minute. We're also being joined by Tejas Mehta, well-known political commentator. So welcome everyone to India Development Debate. I'll come to you first, Hitesh Jain, and I'm going to begin with Wayanad. All of you at the Bharatiya Janata Party have said Rahul Gandhi is standing from Wayanad because it's a minority constituency when it comes to Hindus. He's going to lose in Amethi. But if you look at the voter turnout figures, and usually, when you have a healthy voter turnout, it indicates a wave of sorts. That's at least what all of you political pundits have always said. So if you look at Wayanad, would you say that maybe you got it wrong, that maybe Rahul Gandhi does look like he has a chance at Wayanad, and maybe his South India gamble is paying off?
Nayantara, we are in the third phase of the election, and if in the third phase of the election we are debating whether Rahul Gandhi has a chance to win the election, that means the results are done and dusted and Congress and the Mahagatbandhan has no chance in this Lok Sabha elections. Because when people are at pains to explain, listen, Rahul Gandhi can win from Wayanad, that itself shows such arguments are arguments of desperation. They are not arguments which are based on a conviction, or a ruling party never offers such kind of explanation. What we have seen today, there are 2 or 3 images that are coming. Trinamool Congress inflicting violence and killing Congress people. Look at the example of Mahagatbandhan. The left calling pot shots at Congress in Kerala. Look at the Mahagatbandhan. And as against that, BJP confidently facing the polls, the turnout is good, the people are with the party, and we are also seeing the EVM excuses and Congress crying about like we will go to EC for A complaint, B complaint. So when such kinds of noises are coming, we are very confident. The mandate is with us and we are going to get a much more stronger mandate than we got in 2014.
But Hitesh Jain, your party members have also complained about EVMs. For example, in Trivandrum, where they said that every time they tried to press the BJP button, they've done it twice, it has not worked. I'll come to you in just a bit. Radhika Khera will also be joining us. Till then, let me go across to Dhanya. Dhanya, talk to us about Kerala. How are you seeing Wayanad? Elections in all of South India coming to a close today. Who are you putting as having the edge? Karnataka has always been said too close to call. What's your reading as far as Kerala goes?
Well, Kerala has recorded a high voter turnout, at least till 6 o'clock. The figures we got was that almost 74% people have turned up to vote. That figure is expected to go up at least till 77 or even 80%, depending upon how many more people will be allowed to vote. The Election Commission had promised that anyone who enters a booth premises before 6 p.m. will be allowed to vote. So the voter turnout in Kerala could either be because all the three fronts, the LDF, the UDF, and the NDA, have been working really hard to ensure that people go to the polling booth. Second, have issues like Sabarimala actually made voters go out and vote? So I think this election is crucial for Kerala, as in we will know who are those people who ideologically and politically agree with the left, because those are the people who will be voting for the LDF, the left front in Kerala. All the others who have disagreed with the left, either on Sabarimala or the floods or other issues, would be dividing their votes between the Congress and the BJP. The Congress, of course, enjoys its own core vote bank in Kerala. As far as Rahul Gandhi's candidature is concerned, I believe that it was a tactical move by the Congress in a state of 20 seats. The Congress, which initially expected to win something between 12 to 15 seats, was suddenly, there was so much of enthusiasm in the Congress camp that their slogan was revised to 2020. Rahul Gandhi's candidature from Wayanad, if not anything else, it definitely gave more enthusiasm to Congress cadre throughout the state, and that has been very visible in the last 2 weeks. So that alone, many political analysts believe, could take the Congress tally up in Kerala itself.
Sagarika Ghosh, if I could come to you now. You know, the Congress this time round, it always happens. Neither of the two parties have a big presence in Tamil Nadu. So this time the Congress bet on the DMK is perhaps going to pay heavy dividends. But if I could come to you as far as Kerala goes, Karnataka, once again, as we saw indications from assembly elections, a bit close to call. But when I look at the South India, you know, the Sabarimala issue, floods, the dent in the Zava votes, do you think the gain, like Dhanya saying, is going to be more for the Congress as opposed to the BJP? This, as the left is losing out on the vote share?
Nayantara, I think this is an extremely important phase for the BJP. It's a big phase. It's the biggest phase of the general elections of 2019. This is the phase where in 2014 the BJP began to really pick up momentum and surge ahead. The question really is, are we seeing a similar momentum? Are we seeing a similar surge? I've been on the ground and I have to say that this time the election is lacking somewhat in enthusiasm. It seems to be lacking in voter euphoria, the kind we saw in 2014. 2019 is certainly not 2014. This is a waveless election, either pro or anti, both sides. It's waveless. So it's a relatively unenthusiastic, low-key, normal election. Within this context, I would say about Kerala, that in Kerala, the UDF and the LDF both have their 35% vote share. I don't think that is going to in any way come down, although in this particular instance, I think with Rahul Gandhi contesting from Wayanad, I don't think there's any doubt that he will win in Wayanad as well as in Amethi. The UDF will be given a boost. My problem with Rahul Gandhi contesting in Wayanad, Nayantara, is I just think it's a weak signal. The signaling is very weak. Why is he contesting in Kerala? I think Rahul Gandhi should be investing his political capital in direct contest with the BJP, where the Congress is up against the BJP. That is where the president of the Congress party should be contesting. My take was that I thought he should have contested from Vidarbha, that he has made farmers' issues and farmers' distress his talking point. He's spoken about Kalavati. Why doesn't he contest from Vidarbha? Why doesn't he contest from Karnataka, where there is a BJP opposition, where there's a BJP to fight against? Fighting from Wayanad, the Congress has argued that this is the tri-junction of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. It doesn't hold much water. Wayanad is a forgotten constituency buried in the Western Ghats. So I think the signaling is weak. However, having said that, I think for the Congress to have its president contest in Kerala and make an enemy of the left front is, I think, tactically a mistake. Yeah. So I think Wayanad, there's no doubt of his victory, but it's a mistake.
In fact, if you look at all of... And in fact, this is exactly what the BJP has been saying. Look at the signal that the Congress party has sent by fielding its president, not even against the BJP directly. It's also brought up the entire religious issue. Radhika Khera, let me come to you. Weak signaling by your president. Fantastic suggestion there and observation there by Sagrika. Not contesting directly against the BJP. You've not gone and fielded Rahul Gandhi. He's not decided to field himself from a seat where, he's talked a lot about, let's say, farmer distress, whether it's with Dhabra or whether he does it in the other states of the Hindi heartland. He's not done that. He's played it extremely safe. You have made a tactical mistake when it comes to also seat sharing, alliances. And, Kerala is not the only one where we're talking about it. You made a similar mistake, for example, in UP. The Congress just doesn't understand coalition politics.
I'm sorry, but I beg to differ. When it comes to coalition, we have been in government for 10 years, if you look at the UPA Congress government. Now, coming back to Wayanad, like Sagarika ji said, it's a tri-junction. Now, the main purpose of Congress president contesting from Wayanad is that there has been this step-brotherly treatment of the Modi-led BJP government in the center towards South India, and how they've, and I will tell you, in these three states, now since Wayanad is a tri-junction of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala, now you see what they did during the Kerala flood disaster. The state needed much more money. But because the Modi government knows that they will not get any vote from there, they refuse to give them that amount of money to rebuild Kerala again. Now coming to Tamil Nadu, we saw how the farmers of Tamil Nadu were suffering. You had the poor farmers here in Delhi, out in the heat, sitting out there with those khopris and everything, but the Prime Minister did not. And that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you, because it's a tri-junction. It's representing three states. The same farmers of Tamil Nadu who were here begging for the Prime Minister to hear them, but the Prime Minister did not even have one word, let alone a tweet. We know he's famous for his tweets. When he can talk about his...
Wants to come in as well. Dhanya wants... Okay.
No. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Now, if the Congress wanted to make a point that South India is being ignored, that the central government has forgotten the spirit of federalism, then why did they not choose a seat from where, let's say, the AIDMK is contesting, or even a seat where the BJP is contesting from? There are so many seats in Tamil Nadu. There are 20 seats in Kerala from where the BJP is contesting from. Why do they have to choose a seat where they're standing directly against a CPI, CPM in this case? So why didn't they choose Tamil Nadu in that case? They could have just stood in one of the seats in Tamil Nadu. So it doesn't really make any sense that the Congress party decides to stand in a seat against...
Radhika, is that because you thought that the DMK is going to win? Everybody's talking about a DMK sweep. So you decided, let's play it safe. Tamil Nadu is covered. Karnataka too close to call. So Kerala is safe. It's right.
I don't understand why there's such an issue. Wherever he wants to contest from, he'll contest. Like, you can decide what topic you want to debate on. It is his prerogative to decide where he wants to contest from. And like I said,
Minister of this country.
The Prime Minister of the country, he contested from Gujarat, and he contested from Varanasi, and he state where he comes from, where he was chief minister for all these years, and he has ignored Gujarat ever since he's become the prime minister. That is another question and a topic for a debate on another day. But we are coming back to Wayanad. Now, like I said, it's a tri-junction. We are raising the voices of the farmers of Tamil Nadu who were in distress, and the prime minister did not have 1 second to talk about. They were sitting with those skulls on the road in the heat. Can you forget those scenes that we had seen? And I'm sure your channel would have also shown that. When we're talking about Kerala, how they refuse to give that money to rebuild Kerala just because they're not getting votes from there. And even in Karnataka, we've seen how they failed the people of Karnataka, how they've tried every unconstitutional trick in the book to form a government where they've not been able to form a government. So you have to raise the voice of those three states together. I don't understand.
You say that, he's standing from there because it's a safe seat, it's Hindu minority. But what do you have to say to Radhika Khera? She's saying you have ignored Kerala because you wouldn't get any, votes over there. You didn't even plow money back there to rebuild the state after the floods. What do you have to say for that?
Well, frankly speaking, now that the polls are over for Kerala and Congress can move on to some other excuses, all these excuses did not cut any ice. I mean, the problem with them is, like, they are trying to give the explanation about the tri-state when they are only contesting like hardly 8 or 9 seats in Tamil Nadu, and in Karnataka also they need the crutches of JDS. Be that as it may, I mean, it is their prerogative, but as I mentioned earlier very clearly, I mean, it also exposes the whole arguments about Mahagatbandhan when Congress is fighting left and left is calling names to the Congress. I mean, this is a classic example of what the chaos, they are trying to present to the people. Like when you go in front of the people, you should go with a, in the past also Congress has gone. It is not that Congress is a novice party, it's a national party. They have contested the elections in the past. But in their wisdom, if they do not have any strength to fight Bharatiya Janata Party on themselves and they want to be a part of chaos, we wish them luck, and it is a very good signal for us, because as I mentioned to you earlier, on grounds, the way the reports are coming, whether it is Karnataka, whether it is Gujarat, whether it is Maharashtra, the party is going to come back with a much stronger mandate.
Sagrika Ghosh, if I could now just bring you in here, then I want to start talking about the other states, because we were talking about Rahul Gandhi. He's contesting from a second seat. On the same day, the Supreme Court decided to has issued a contempt notice to him for the wrong attribution of a verdict to the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of India in Rafale. Rahul Gandhi has repeatedly tried to make Rafale an election issue. I'm not sure on ground how much of it is an election issue, but can he afford to also cherry pick that, okay, this is not worth talking about what the Supreme Court has to say about the contempt notice, but there is a corruption?
Well, Nayantara, I think what is clear is that the Supreme Court is objecting to its honorable name being brought into the slogan. I think as far as political slogans are concerned, this is the heat and dust of campaigning, and the slogans and counter slogans are going to be hurled at each other by political parties. But I think where the Supreme Court has objected and where the contempt notice has come in is the mention of the Supreme Court having also endorsed the slogan of Chaukidar Chor Hai. Now,
but Sagrika, what I was also trying to get at,
the slogan that
But Sagrika, the point I was also trying to get at, apologies for interjecting you there, is that, he's also being seen as a prime ministerial candidate. For a prime ministerial candidate to get swayed by the heat of campaigning, to wrongly attribute something to the Chief Justice of India and Supreme Court, it's serious stuff. And over an issue which I'm not even sure is really an election issue on ground. You've been traveling India.
Well, I don't think Rafale is frankly, that much of an election issue. The Congress party is going all out with the Chaukidar Chor Hai slogan. But frankly, on the ground, really, it is the really nuts and bolts, bread and butter issues, unemployment, unemployment, unemployment. This comes at me wherever I go. In Uttar Pradesh, Vidarbha, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, unemployment is what is staring at people in the face. Now, there's rural unemployment, there's urban youth unemployment, there is the stress of demonetization, there are the burdens of GST. I do think, though, that Mr. Modi continues to be personally very popular. There's no doubt about the popularity of the Prime Minister. He's still considered popular by a large swathe of people, particularly in the urban areas. But I would say, Nayantara, that rural distress is so high, particularly in Vidarbha. Of course, we are now in this phase, it was in the western Maharashtra region that went to polls, but in Vidarbha, where I went, rural distress is so high that notwithstanding the popularity, the personal popularity of the Prime Minister, there is a lot of, there's a lot of resentment against the policies of this government. But I have to say, I did not pick up any anger against this government. Yes, there's disappointment and there's disillusionment, but there is no anger. So which is why I say it's a wave-less election. There is no wave for, there is no wave anti. It's just completely waveless. It's not a Modi euphoric election, nor is it a sort of boiling over with anger and have to get rid of this government kind of election either. So it's a waveless election. But having said that, I think that as far as the Congress and the BJP are concerned, at this moment in time, the BJP is down but certainly not out. The Congress is up but not up enough. And we have to see whether the swing away from the ruling party is so great that there will be a regime change at the center. At this moment in time, assessing the election as I see it, I would say it's advantage BJP and advantage NDA.
Advantage BJP, advantage NDA. I can see Radhika Khera wanted to come in. But, let's now talk about the other states as well. Let's talk about Maharashtra. Sagrika talking about rural distress, how she traveled there. With Dhabra, she's also brought up Gujarat. Let's talk about Tejas Mehta, if I could come to you. Rural distress, farmer distress has been talked a lot about the last 5 years. We've seen the kind of protests that have taken place across the country as well. You've really seen the government swing into action, perhaps when it comes to rural distress in the last 12 to 15 months, whether it's the hike in MSP, whether it is the sugar bonanza that has come out, the budget announcement for Kisan, all of that stuff has come out in the last 12 to 14 months. Is it good enough to win the rural votes, particularly in Gujarat and Maharashtra?
Well, I would certainly agree with Sagarika here that, on the ground, especially in these areas where there is an acute agrarian crisis, people are not overjoyed with Narendra Modi, given the fact that he had been promising repeatedly throughout the campaign of 2014 regarding the increase of MSP of 50%. Now, that only happened recently. So, they were expecting that Mr. Modi, the BJP, would deliver on these promises as soon as possible. And remember, it's not just about MSP. There are many other issues about ensuring that crops, don't rot in, government buildings. They reach, mandis as soon as possible. The middleman really disappears. There's so many issues which actually are connected with the agrarian crisis, apart from the fact that, of course, drought is the biggest problem. So that's something which the government can't really do much about a drought. But what other steps have they really taken? Despite the late steps being taken, the fact remains that on the ground, Prime Minister has been popular, and also Devendra Fadnavis has been quite popular, especially because he comes from the Vidarbha region. So they're not overjoyed about it, but there is no anger, as Sagarika was pointing out. Absolutely correct. I completely agree with that. And therefore, even during the previous elections, Panchayat elections, which have taken place, the BJP has been doing pretty well in Maharashtra, in the in all these agrarian crisis areas like Vidarbha, Marathwada, even north Gujarat, north Maharashtra, like Nanded and all these areas. What I'm particularly interested in, the factor we discussed yesterday also, Nayantara, is Raj Thakre. How is his role going to play? Because Pune is where he had been campaigning a lot, and in fact he had been talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a very different sort of rally, where he was showing the videos of what he said on different issues 5 years ago and what he is saying now about it. So how allegedly Narendra Modi has done a flip-flop, Raj Thakre was trying to point that out, and he was getting the crowds in. Has Pune and many other areas in Western Maharashtra, at least, have they really got that message? That, of course, is extremely hard to say, but the crowds really were coming in. So the Congress and the NCP did have some backing from the MNS in a unique way, because the MNS is not really contesting. Yeah. As far as Gujarat goes, I think the larger problem for Gujarat.
Okay, one second. Tejas, let's bring Radhika Khera in. You have often criticized the Prime Minister for not doing enough for farmers. But Radhika, what are you going to do besides free handouts, Nyay? Your own party is not talking that much about Nyay. A lot has been said against Nyay. You don't have the details about it. The BJP says it's already paying out a lot more, 14,000 rupees an average against what you have been talking about. So you have failed to consolidate what you could have done in Maharashtra. You have decided to also be, and we've seen Congress and NCP, a time-tested alliance, where 60% of the candidates fielded by the NCP are criminals. Again, not sending out a very strong positioning over there. Gujarat, which had turned out to be a very close assembly election, you failed to consolidate over there. In fact, the BJP perhaps is now going to get back a lot of the lost community with its reservation bill for the upper caste. Do you concede that you could have done a lot more in Maharashtra, you could have done a lot more in Gujarat, but it hasn't happened?
Farmers of Maharashtra were out on the roads. What happened there? We saw those pictures that were all there for everyone to see, and we saw how the government did not care to even talk to them. We saw what was happening. We saw this farmer distress all over the nation. We saw what happened on 2nd October, how the farmers were hit, how they were shot at. Everybody saw that. And when it comes to farmers, let me make this very clear to you. we are very clear about Nyay. We have done it with Manrega and we will do it again with Nyay. People have trusted us time and again and they will trust us again. They entrusted us in those 3 states in December, which the BJP could not even maintain back. They lost 3 big states, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, while being in center. If their policies were right and they were actually doing something for farmers, those states would have come back to them. You had to see the condition of farmers in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Maharashtra. The farmers refused to even sell their produce at that time. They were waiting for the election results to come in, and that is exactly what is going to happen in Maharashtra or any other state for that matter. And the Congress is very clear when it comes to their policies for farmers. We are going to have a separate farmer budget. And let me also tell you the actual condition of farmer suicides. They have increased manyfold when the BJP has come into power, and they are so scared that after 2016, the government has stopped even giving out the data about farmer suicides. What is it that is making them hide the data? Have you ever seen a government which is so scared of hiding data of farmer suicides? If they have actually put their work on from paper and they're actually doing something for the farmers would not be required to, the farmers would not be protesting. I'm going to again talk about the Tamil Nadu farmers. I'm again going to talk about the farmers who were shot in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh.
What do you have to say to that?
And then we come to Gujarat. Let's talk about Gujarat. Okay. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi came from Gujarat, he was the Chief Minister, and people of Gujarat had lots of expectations that he would do something for Gujarat. And let me tell you, in 5 years as Prime Minister, he has not thought about Gujarat even once. He even let go of that seat. He let go of Gujarat, his home state, which made him the Prime Minister that he is today. He just let the people of Gujarat be. And just by going over there, doing these rallies and violating the model code of conduct every time, even in the Gujarat election, does not mean that he's going to come back to power again.
So Radhika Khera is saying that Hitesh Jain, BJP doesn't have a chance in Gujarat. Gujarat has been completely ignored by the Prime Minister for the last 5 years. What do you have to say about that? You did see a very close assembly election. Do you think the state would punish Narendra Modi for not standing this time from Gujarat?
Well, the winners do not complain. It is the losers who have this habit to complain, and we are very happy that they are complaining. Let them be. As far as Congress is concerned, let us look at what has happened post assembly elections.
The farmer issue that she's raised.
Now, if a party is in a strong
Let's
position,
also talk about the farmer distress which Radhika Khera has raised, a very valid point.
Do you lose the MLA or you add the MLA? Well, allow me to make my point. So you have lost the MLAs, you have lost the ground. One of their hero, which they were touting during the campaign about Alpesh Thakur, he also left the campaign midway. Now let's come to Maharashtra. What is the situation of Congress? The leader of opposition is not campaigning for Maharashtra. His son is contesting on the BJP ticket. Now they have got someone to complain, Raj Thackeray, who has the track record of beating Uttar Pradesh and Bihar workers in Bombay. I mean, their own clips of Sanjay Nirupam, he used to call Raj Thackeray as Lukha Seth, and the same Congress party who calls him a Lukha Seth, for Ashok Chavan, you need Raj Thackeray. For Sushil Kumar Shinde, you need Raj Thackeray. For Supriya Sule, you need Raj Thackeray. So when you need an outsider to campaign and you do not have your own people who can campaign for your party, what does this demonstrate? It demonstrates desperation, and it clearly shows that Congress and NCP are nowhere on the ground. I'll give you one more fact. For the last 5 years in the Maharashtra, after a long time, Maharashtra has seen one chief minister who has run the government. Look at Congress track record. I mean, they had the opportunity to appoint a chief minister. Between 99 and 2014, not a single term went where Congress were changing their own chief ministers. One for Adarsh, one for during the riots, the kind of the movie cinema the chief minister was trying to do. So people compare.
Let
people
Radhika
look
counter.
at that.
You raise a lot
And
of,
as
let Radhika counter.
If you have done such good work for the people of Maharashtra, why do your ministers like Pankaja Munde have to come up with these absolute horrendous things and statements that she's making? If you've done so much work, talk about your work. Chicky scam, talk about the Chicky scam. But no, you will talk about everything under the sun and you will say such horrible things for other party leaders. And if you've done such good work, why do you have to count all these things? In this entire time that you were talking about, interjecting me, you could not even tell us 5 things that you have done for the people of Maharashtra. Tell me, what have you done for the farmers who are out on the roads? Nothing. You will again go on and give jumlas and jumlas, and nothing is going to happen. What have you done for the people? What have you done for the youth? How
many jobs have you given? You have no data to talk about. Let's talk about it issues. Let's talk about what you have done to come back to our answer.
Give him a chance to talk.
You could not come with second airport for Mumbai. Metro for 15 years. People from Mumbai wanted metro. You were not able to provide that. The work of metro is going on in Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, everywhere. This is the track record. So there is a difference between a tape record and a track record. People believe in the track record, not the tape record of Congress.
Okay, one second. Since you brought up Mumbai, Sagarika, what did you make of Mukesh Ambani and Uday Kotak endorsing Milind Deora? The reason I'm asking this question is that, for the last 5 years, we've also heard Rahul Gandhi saying, "Soot boot ki sarkar." This is a sarkar which is working for only a few industrialists. And then Milind Deora gets endorsed by Uday Kotak and Mukesh Ambani. What kind of a messaging is that? I'm raising Mumbai because Hitesh just talked about it.
That's a personal relationship that Milind Deora has with these two industrialists, and I think they've endorsed him in a personal capacity. I really wouldn't like to comment more on that, because I think this is part of Milind's campaign outreach, and he's got this as part of the personal friendship that he and his family have enjoyed with the Ambanis for many years, as well as with the Kotaks. Murli Deora, Milind's respected father, late father, was an extremely close friend of Mukesh Ambani, and the families have known each other for decades. So I think this is part of that personal friendship. And I also think that it's probably the same with Mr. Kotak. But I do think, Nayantara, that if you look at the way the BJP Shiv Sena alliance is functioning in Maharashtra, I just want to change tack a little bit and say that, what I've picked up on the ground is that the Shiv Sena is actually the weak link in Maharashtra and in Bombay, because a lot of workers are disgruntled, the campaign is dull, the campaign is simply not taking off, because, remember, till the other day, the Shiv Sena was attacking the BJP and saying Chaukidar Chor hai. So now people are not able to understand how the Shiv Sena, which until the 11th hour was attacking the BJP, is now in alliance with the BJP. So there is a identity crisis for the Shiv Sena. So the Shiv Sena this time is a weak link in the BJP Sena alliance. The BJP is gaining traction.
Okay.
The BJP
Let's go to Tejas for this.
carrying the Sena along. The Sena is the one that's weak.
So Tejas, would you agree with that? Does the BJP need the Shiv Sena still? Because in the past, isn't Shiv Sena also the last 5 years has been all bark, no bite? The threat to pull out so many times, it didn't happen.
I got your question. I think you're getting, because of lag, there's a confusion in your voice. But the main issue here is the BJP certainly needs the Shiv Sena. Remember, in Mumbai, without the Shiv Sena, the BJP will not, gain as many seats as they would really hope. Because, the Shiv Sena is basically a party from Mumbai. It is in Mumbai where, Mumbai is the biggest stronghold in all of Maharashtra. The BMC elections, the corporation elections, 25 years the BMC has been winning. And their whole Shakha system within, Mumbai itself is so strong that it's not possible that the BJP can really just, ask the Shiv Sena that, okay, next election, assembly election, now you go on your own. I don't think that's really happening. Yes, Sagarika is right that, until the 11th hour, you are abusing the BJP and calling the Prime Minister Chaukidar Chor to like the Congress, and therefore there is a mixed messaging. But I think what has really happened, because of the bickering between the two parties who are allies for 25 years, people have got a sense that this is happening, they are fighting, but ultimately they get together, at least for Hindutva. On those grounds they get together, for a larger cause they get together, so we will give our vote to them. So I really don't think the weakening of the NDA in Mumbai itself. In fact, for the Congress also, thankfully, the issue with Sanjay Nirupam has been resolved. Now you have, Priya Dutt, who is back. Milind Deora is campaigning and contesting once again. So it's good for the Congress also, the way things have moved in Mumbai.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if Priya Dutt will be able to beat Poonam Mahajan this time round. We have to take a short commercial break, but stay tuned. We have a lot more to talk about. We'll talk about the EVMs, the violence in West Bengal. We'll also talk about Shashi Tharoor. That's after this break. Welcome back. You're watching India Development Debate with me, Nayantara Rai. Now let's just go back to Kerala for a second. I want to bring Dhanya in. Dhanya, you know, we were talking a lot about Maharashtra and Gujarat, so let's get back to Kerala too. Third time, we're going to see, Shashi Tharoor fighting a strong incumbency. How are you seeing this being talked about? You know, a lot we've been reading about is that maybe his chances aren't that good this time round.
Well, Shashi Tharoor this time is faced against two strong opponents. One is the CPI C. Divakaran, who is a sitting MLA from one of the assembly constituencies in Thiruvananthapuram. The other, of course, is the NDA candidate Kummanam Rajashekharan. So, in fact, 3 different opinion polls from Kerala, from Malayalam channels, had said that it's either a close call or Tharoor may even end up losing this election. What are the reasons for it? One is that Trivandrum has a large number of Nair and Nadar votes. Nair is, of course, an upper caste Hindu community. So many believe that the upper caste Hindu communities may choose the BJP because they are upset with the LDF over its stand on Sabarimala. The person who would lose, of course, in this equation remains Shashi Tharoor, as he had this community's vote to a large extent in Thiruvananthapuram. Tharoor's vote margin had reduced in 2014. So for him, 2019 is really a huge fight because Kummanam Rajashekharan, the NDA candidate, is quite popular in Kerala. So is C. Divakaran. So if the left can actually hold on to its entire vote bank, which is CPI and CPM vote bank in Thiruvananthapuram, then the other vote bank of the Congress, some of it can go to the BJP, and the neutral voters also, many of them, instead of choosing Tharoor, can drift away to the BJP. So definitely a tough fight for Tharoor, and the BJP is hoping that they will open their account in Kerala through the capital city of Thiruvananthapuram. And one quick thing to add is that the Congress machinery in Trivandrum has not been working really well. In fact, Tharoor himself, we have been told, has complained to the High Command that the machinery has not been with him, even for door-to-door campaigns, for rallies in the constituency, that the system has not stood with him. That is because a lot of local Congress leaders in Kerala do feel threatened by Tharoor. One more victory for him does not bode well for them.
Okay, Sagrika Ghosh, if I could now come to you and talk some of those horrific images we saw today in West Bengal, where we actually saw the TMC and the Congress come to blows. Very unfortunate. Once again, you're seeing in this election phase sporadic reports of violence. We've talked about this in the past. What did you think of those? I mean, the horrific images. But do you think, in a sense, playing into the hands of Narendra Modi and the BJP and exactly what it has been talking about the state, whether it is gundagiri, violence, and Didi standing in the way of development?
Well, violence has for long been a part of Bengal's politics. It was a part of Bengal's politics, an endemic part of Bengal's politics when the left front was ruling. And this kind of violent political culture has only spread. And, in other states, you may have lathis, but in Bengal, you actually have bombs being set off. So violence is very much part of the Bengal political culture. Having said that, it's not as if there's not gundagardi and there's not a violent activity in other parts of India as well. So I think the kind of claims being made by Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah trifle exaggerated. Bengal is the story of this election, I believe, Nayantara, because Bengal is really where the BJP is looking to gain. It's looking to, win seats. Mamta is fighting the election very, very energetically. So is the Congress. Remember, it's a triangular contest over there in the North Bengal seats that went to polls in this particular phase. These are Congress strongholds that went to polls, Malda and other seats. This is where Mamta Banerjee is up against the Congress and the BJP. The BJP is looking to gain in North Bengal. The Congress is looking to hang on to its strongholds of Jangipur and Malda and those strongholds. And of course, the Trinamool is looking to gain here. So Rahul Gandhi in these areas attacked both Mamta Banerjee and the BJP. And of course, the BJP attacked Mamta Banerjee. And Mamta Banerjee is attacking both the BJP and the Congress. So
and why did... And once again, I want to ask Radhika Khera that very question, Sagrika. Like, what is the Congress thinking? Whether it is Mamta Banerjee, whether it is Chandrababu Naidu, everyone has asked the Congress, let's fight Narendra Modi together, and yet the Congress doesn't do that. Radhika Kera, what's going on? What is the thinking behind this? Why can't you manage these pre-poll alliances? Why are you letting the BJP actually gain share? What is the thinking?
See, every election, whether it is an assembly election or a Lok Sabha election, there will be different alliances according to the need of the hour. And the Congress party only forms alliances with consultation with its state leadership. So if there is if the state leadership wants an alliance and they feel the need of an alliance, then we go ahead with an alliance. So there is this democracy in the party. So everybody is a shareholder and they agree, if all of them agree to form an alliance, then we go ahead with the alliance. So in case a certain state an alliance is not required, the party will not go ahead with it. So whatever the reason may be in whether it's West Bengal, whether it's Uttar Pradesh, the state leaders did not think an alliance was necessary. So we did not go ahead with an alliance. So the point is that we are fighting this election.
Radhika, that doesn't really sound very convincing. You talk about the Mahagatbandhan.
No, we don't talk about the Mahagatbandhan. Mahagatbandhan is a term that is given by the BJP. We have never claimed about Mahagatbandhan or anything of that sort. Yes, we have always been open to fighting.
But isn't what she's describing, Hitesh, a Mahamilawat? You only want to come together to beat Modi. But before that, it doesn't matter. You'll fight each other.
Well, one thing is very clear that Congress has given you a breaking news today that there is no Mahagatbandhan. So finally, all this waving on the stage, Congress leaders going in Calcutta, addressing a common rally with Mamta Didi, saying that this is a Mahagatbandhan. This clearly explains that this is not Mahagatbandhan, but this is Mahamilawat. But I am on a different point. Today, Congress lost its worker in the violence that was unleashed by TMC. Not a word of condemnation, it is your own worker. Your own worker killed by TMC goon. Now Sagarika Ghosh is trying to equate the violence with Gundaism. I mean, see, nowhere you have seen the state-sponsored violence or the kinds of crude bombs that were hurled, the images which we are seeing. I mean, you may ignore. Had this been in Gujarat or something, you would have been, people would have been dancing. Even in the morning, there were few people. We saw the political commentator, Mr. Modi, when he went to vote, and the kind of people who have come to watch him, they tried to make a comment. And here there are crude bombs being hurled. And this is what is being called a democracy in danger. And when state is sponsoring the violence, crude bombs are hurled and the voters are running helter-skelter, Congress losing its own political worker. Is this an ordinary thing? I mean, Sagarika Ghosh, you are sounding like Sam Pitroda, who said about Bombay that ye to choti moti baatein ye hoti rehti hai. This is not a choti moti baat. This is a violence.
Oh, please.
State-sponsored
Can I
violence.
please come in here?
Bombs being hurled.
Can I please?
Certainly, this is not a choti
Can I
moti
please come in
baat.
here?
She just said it's condemnable. Hitesh, she just said it's condemnable. But come in, Sagarika. Yeah, come in. She just said it's condemnable. Yeah.
No, I mean, nobody is condemning the violence. Nobody is condemning the violence. There is endemic violence in West Bengal, but this is not just about the Trinamool or about the Congress. It was there in the left front. Politics in Bengal has always been violent. So for the BJP to make capital out of it and saying that right now democracy is in danger in West Bengal is pure political posturing. What was the Prime Minister doing in a clear violation of the Model Code of Conduct today when he went to vote and he actually made a campaign speech? He actually conducted a road show when there was a model code of conduct in place, and there was a speech and there was a road show when he went to cast his vote. Now that is none other than the exalted office. That is the exalted office of the Prime Minister, the exalted office of the Prime Minister, who is, acting as if the model code of conduct doesn't exist. Now, what are we to make of that? We know that the politics in Bengal is very violent. It is condemnable. We've seen the violence in the Panchayat election. But what about the repeated?
That there is no violation of code
what
of conduct.
About the repeated violations? What about the repeated violations of model code of conduct by the highest office of the Prime Minister and the President of the BJP? I believe that is something we really need to think about in this election.
Tejas and Dhanya, I want to come to you now. Dhanya, this has been a repeated trend that we have seen in this election. Repeated offences by the top leadership, Danya, that has been one big trend in 2019. But if I could just come back, we've discussed that a lot. Let's keep it a little, the debate a little better. We were talking about the Congress and the BJP and the alliances it forms. So, even in the South, look at Karnataka, this JDS Congress infighting. How is this going to pan out? Isn't this again putting the Congress at a disadvantage? It's done the same thing in UP, for example, where the first time it came out with a list, it said 7 tickets to be distributed between the SP and the BSP. Look how it is fighting against Mamta in TMC. It's done the same thing in Karnataka.
Coming to the model code of conduct, I just want to say that this election is perhaps one where the election commission has been reduced to a puppet in many ways. I mean, there are violations reported almost every day, and barring a few, we don't see any action being taken, and politicians are going ahead with impunity. So I think we need to register a disappointment with the election commission. Look at the overreach in Kerala today. A 21-year-old young man says that the EVM malfunctioned. The presiding officer says, okay, go and do a test vote. During the test vote, the EVM does not malfunction. Instead of just letting him go and noting him down, the presiding officer actually goes ahead and files a police complaint against a 21-year-old man, saying that he was willfully giving misinformation. So this is complete overreach, complete overreaction by the election commission. Coming to Karnataka, yes, the coalition did not perform well at all, at least 3 weeks ago. The kind of fights within the coalition that has pulled down the JDS and the Congress quite a bit in Karnataka. It is only in the last 1.5 weeks that they tried to bring everyone together and work together. But I believe that it happened a bit too late. By then, the Narendra Modi rallies were really creating a sort of impact, a wave in Karnataka. In the South, in the 5 states, I would say that Karnataka is one state where Narendra Modi impact is very much visible on the ground. And I believe that all the 8 to 9 rallies that he had in various places will have an impact. The Congress camp, if you speak to them, they'll say, oh, we are not going to do very well in coastal Karnataka. We don't know how well we'll do in North Karnataka. Bangalore also, we will lose seats. So they don't seem confident at all. That's the kind of signaling we are getting from the Congress camp.
Okay. I'm running out of time. Only got 2 minutes more. So I'm going to give the final question to a neutral observer. Let's go across to Tejas Mehta, because if I go to Radhika or Hitesh, I'll never be able to end the show in time. So if I could come to you, Tejas, some very serious charges that were just being discussed. What was the Prime Minister doing after casting his vote? How did that go down? What did it achieve at all, if anything? You have a higher voter turnout, but it can't possibly be because of that speech.
Absolutely. I don't think something like this is really going to change the narrative of the election. But rules are rules. I mean, it's up to the election commission, if since there's a complaint filed, up to them to really decide as to were there any violations of any rules and take appropriate action. But somebody of his stature, I mean, last time also this happened where he showed the the election symbol of the BJP, the lotus, right after coming out from voting. So I mean, these are completely avoidable. It doesn't really make a huge difference to the voters, especially in Gujarat. What difference does it really make?
Okay, and on that note, I'm going to like to thank all of my panelists for joining me here this evening to talk about the largest phase of the 2000. And I can see Sagrika shaking her head. Sagrika, okay, I'll give you a final comment. Sagrika, you wanted to come in. I'll give you the final comment.
Oh, yes, I did have a final comment. I think at the end of the day, as the elections of this phase 3 comes to an end, we have to actually look very carefully at the kind of strategizing that the BJP is doing throughout this election. We are seeing that, the way they are carrying out the defections from the Congress party, the way the opposition is being divided. For example, there's support to Shivpal Yadav, to the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, to the way defections have been engineered in Maharashtra, in Gujarat. The BJP is hungry and it's fighting this election all guns blazing. The Congress and the opposition, on the other hand, seems to be a little bit timid, a little bit tanda, which is why I say that overall it looks as if at this point, in terms of strategizing and sheer resources, Nayantara, in terms of unmatched resources, it does look as if it's advantage to the ruling party, BJP and NDA.
Is it in an advantageous position? How big an advantageous position? All I can say is wait till May 23rd. Till then, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on this very special edition of India Development Debate. Completely out of time. Many thanks.